So your lass just died laughing, telling me a story about you snogging the pillow.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's such a horrendous storyteller.
I was like, she'll get you on the podcast to tell it. And I mean, it would have been funny in that she couldn't breathe for laughing.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have took like the first 5 minutes to get out the story that I'd just done in the first sentence.
Right. She's got this thing where if she... And in any other person, I find it the most annoying quality in the world. Like, there is that one promoter that will never, ever, ever work again with in Europe, who, for the sake of professionalism, I'll not name him. I met him twice, and I looked Marlena dead in the eyes, and I said, if you ever employ that man again, you are fired. Not just him, you are fired. Because he was just this cunt who would tell unfunny stories and then laugh his way through them.
Yeah, you would preemptive laugh. So that, like, this next bit's you're gonna love, but like the preemptive laugh wasn't a genuine laugh. It was like, and you're like, you knew what was coming next was going to be underwhelming, but you knew he'd cued you that it was meant to be funny, so you had to kind of like,
No.
like it was, like really sapped the energy out of you being in his company. But also he did shit like, pay for the hotel Wi-Fi when you book your room, right?
And bitch and moan about it.
And then bitch and moan that he had to pay for your hotel Wi-Fi. And you're like, this fucking whatever, taking off the tour.
Right.
Like,
one time I was over there, and one of the other acts on the bill was like, is there any chance you could source us just some marijuana? We just fancy some like bed before, some weed before bed. And then he did. And
kept it.
And we were like, can we get a joint? And he would roll us one. And we're like, I'm fucking sorry. Am I 14 years old and this is my first spliff and you're fucking...
It's weed that you've paid for. It's not just like, oh, you can have some of mine.
No, it's not weed I've paid for. It doesn't matter. You're the promoter. Buy me fucking drugs. Grow up. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, if it was a bag of coke, fair enough. It's fucking weed.
Hold on, I want to say no, he was just giving you some of his weed.
No, we were like,
weed.
Get us weed. He got us weed. That's part of the fucking deal. You don't then limit. It's not like he bought us kilo and we were like, we have the fucking kilo. Give us the fucking weed.
It's like, yeah, if you're going like, oh, can we get some booze backstage?
Right.
And they're like,
it doesn't.
Yeah, but I'm going to keep it in my office and you've got to knock and ask every time you want to be there.
No, the reason he was doing it is because he knew we would smoke it without him because we didn't want to fucking hang out with him. So it's that the reason he kept it was like, well, if you want to smoke it, you got to hang out with me. You're like, well, then I need coke as well because it's the only way I'm going to want to fucking talk to you, except I'm fucking geared at me now. Anyway, Cara's, her version of stories, if she finds it funny, you might as well leave the room until she fucking calms down before she can tell it. She's got a big ass pregnancy pillow in the bed, obviously, and
the pregnancy pillow, because I just discovered what they were last week, because when I went to that wedding, I stayed at my friend's house who was also pregnant, and she showed us a pregnancy pillow, and it's like a long...
It's a giant that you have upside down in bed, so that like they can like spoon it, and they can have it between their legs, and it stops their thighs chafing, and then it also so the belly is up on a pillow.
You can't sleep on your back?
No.
I did not know that.
No, obviously you can't sleep on your front. Everyone knows.
Oh yeah, well that's a guy. You would just find that uncomfortable anyway.
You can only sleep.
Like your face and your legs wouldn't be on the bed. You just feel like one of them. You know them. As a kid, you'd have like an inflatable ball with like a plastic disc around it that you like jump on. Do you ever get one of them? Like the shape of Saturn.
Saturn's the
planet.
Shape of Saturn. Saturn, not satin.
No. How I have some chemistry with it.
But you've got to. You can't take like you have to put the R in Saturn.
However, I've just described a ball with a ring around it, and I went, the shape of Saturn.
But it's not. You're saying Saturn. You're objectively saying Saturn.
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 That's what I call Saturn.
Continue.
Jesus, Saturn. I'm not gonna do that.
No, just put an R. You don't say Saturn. Just Saturn.
Sound like a fucking sat nav. That's what I was saying about like Dick Whittington. I can't say Dick Whittington. Dick Whittington. I can't say it properly because Dick Whittington.
Aye.
I
feel like there's middle ground.
So there's some words that I'm like, I'm not just going to break out of my accent again. Saturn.
Right. Well, it does if your words don't convey the meaning. That's the point of language itself.
Tune in. Context is key. The Make Malloy thing that we talked about, where just because it sounded like I was saying make instead of make, they didn't know who I meant. Even though I used the context, your friend who you arrived with, Make Malloy, and they're like, Make Malloy?
Aye.
That's that.
No,
it's that.
No, Saturn is also a thing.
Aye, it's a homophone. It's another word.
Not for years. Not for years. No. I've watched Reese Nicholson kiss his man. I've watched. I've sucked Craig Hill's dick. No, I've grown.
So did they. So you're in bed with
No. Also,
you can't lie on your back.
Can't lie on your back. Can't lie on your belly, and you can only lie on one side. Kind of
at once
at a certain stage in pregnancy, because all of the organs go up so it can make way for the baby. So apparently, and I don't know how true this is, but all they have to do is just tell you one scary story, and then that'll put the fear of God in you. That's all pregnancy is, by the way, is people just going, by the way, that'll kill your baby, and they'll just point out.
You don't want to find out the hard way.
No.
You don't want to find out the hard way, so you're like, I guess I'm avoiding that then.
So if they sleep on one side, apparently because all the organs pushed up there, if you sleep on the wrong side, all other organs will just crush, like their heart or the baby or fucking shit. So she's just constantly uncomfortable. But it's a weird thing as well, which is about 4 nights ago, baby was not moving as much as it normally does. And it normally is like a little fucking pilled up dancer in there giving it a rave. And it's always funny because whenever we get into bed, he immediately starts moving, because when you walk around during the day, the baby's like just being rocked to sleep. And when you lie down, he's like, oh, right, we're still. Now I can actually physically do stuff. And so we always laugh. The second Cara tries to get sleep, he starts dancing around. Mm-hmm. He's not dancing around. He's barely moving. And I'm like, it's dead. It's like, it's over. Like, we've got to phone the midwife. We've got to get this done. Cara's more sensible. I do all the worrying for both of us. She's like, look, we'll leave it to the morning.
Like, if the baby had the decency to just not move from time to time, you'd just be like, it's just not one of them not moving times. But the fact that it's been a constant
thing is, it's such a weird thing to just, when you wake up and you go, did you sleep well? And she's like, no, awfully. I'm like, get in. Good news. That's a good sign.
That's the baby wriggling around.
If she woke up fully rested, I'm like, fucking, all right. It's time to Google small coffins.
So it's not no news is good news with a baby.
No, not for me. Maybe for other people, if you're able to handle that better, much respect. So she's got the big ass fucking pregnancy pillow, and there's been several times where when I sleep, I've now realised, being sober for a bit, even when I'm not on weed or drugs, I am a deep motherfucking sleeper. Like, if I'm in there, I'm there. I still fidget. So occasionally during the night, I'll roll over and I'll try and spoon Cara, the love of my life. And turns out what I'm actually doing is I'm just stealing the pillow from her. So I'll be hugging Cara, and then some third person will hit me in the face and then tell me to stop stealing their pillow.
You don't know any different.
Oh, so then I come out of consciousness. I'm like, Cara, who's this fucking kind of thing? Oh no, I've seen what I've done now.
So she heard you kissing it.
We were in bed.
You tried it on with it. You slipped your hand down his pants. You did this to me in Vegas.
I did not.
You fucking, not the hands down the pants bit, but you definitely, when I climbed into bed in Vegas, I woke up in Vegas, you were, that was it, I climbed in because I was asleep under the air conditioner and I was cold. Imagine freezing to death in the Nevada. That's how I went. That's how I went to Canada.
That's like when Steve Irwin died. He was killed by an animal. You went, oh yeah, of course he was. You went, stingray. You went, eh?
That's not one of the killer ones. That, like,
are you sure? Colin McRae died in a crash. Did he? Oh, well, I'm not surprised actually. What kind of crash?
Helicopter.
Are you sure?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Trip with the attic.
It's mad.
So so basically anyone claims into bed with you, you're just deep into them.
I just assume. Well, because, right, since I've just started going out with Cara, I don't share beds with other people. So whenever somebody gets into a bed, and I'm like, you must be her.
I sometimes get that when I'm like back home for the first time in ages. I'll wake up and feel a presence in my bed and go, what have I done? Oh, fuck, I'm at home. Oh, Jesus.
I have nightmares about cheating, right? No, the sex not involved, otherwise it'd just be a cool dream. But
you get nightmares with the guilt.
I get nightmares. What it is it's I don't have the sex. I don't initiate the sex. I wake up I'm in a dream and
someone's just climbing into your bed. You know how it is. You're just lying there fast asleep.
They're pillowy. That I find out that I've cheated, and it's like literally just at the end, and then I remember Cara exists and that she's pregnant with my child. I'm like, oh God, what have I done
in the dream? So you like your dream isn't just the like you're playing.
No, it's not the good bit.
It's like you're playing a computer game. You're like, I get to run over people in the street on Grand Theft Auto, but it's all right. I can put that down. It's a game. It don't affect my real life. It's not like that. It's like you really feel like you've cheated on your wife, and you get all of the fucking.
Aye, but it's the legit fear of, you know, what was I thinking? Jesus Christ, what am I doing in that situation? Well, I don't know if I've asked this question on the podcast before. I think I have, but it's like, you know, if you have a wet dream. That you control, like, you know, when you what's the name of dream?
Lucid.
Aye, if you have a wet lucid dream, I would argue that's a form of cheating.
Nah, because if it's a lucid enough dream, you know it's a dream.
Aye, so in your dream, don't get me wrong, like, obviously it's cheating with hand on base. Like, they can't legit be mad, but like they get mad at you if you have sex in their dream. So if
that's wanking our porn.
It's not
that's all that is.
Nah.
You've got a belt of porn on. You've got a really immersive porn on. Nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's.
I guarantee you there are people out there that get fucking jealous over that sort of thing.
Aye, they exist. There's some, but they exist on a level that some lads get bollocked for watching porn.
It's not just man. It's not just fucking blokes, man. I will say across the board, because man, jealousy. I've seen it on the other side as well. I've seen horrifically, illogically jealous fucking men. I think it's one of the worst personality traits you can have and people do not fucking correct it enough. They're just like, oh, I'm jealous, and you go, all right,
that's your
fucking sort that out immediately. Oh, I'm a pedo, I love fucking kids, that's just
clip that onto a button.
It's such a it's that fucking Paris thing of like, we're just bastards to people, and you go, right, objectively all of you change it then. You
know what I think the worst form of jealousy is? Pre-relationship jealousy.
Oh,
one of my friends started giving out to me about his lass had been with somebody before they'd met, and he was like, but she didn't own up to it or something, and then I found out she had, and that's why I'm mad at her. So he's trying to twist it and that. I'm like, none of it matters.
None of it matters.
And if she's lying to you to cover up that she slept with him, it's because she's fucking smelt that it's going to be chaos if she finds that you have.
You're acting like a fucking psycho. You're bringing up things that she did, actions she took before she knew of your fucking existence.
Aye.
Like, you are none of this affects you.
The person that she is now is the reaction to all of the things that happened before and brought her to this point. Like, you can't, if you unpick that, you're unpicking who she is as a person.
Aye.
So, it was one of them things where it was when a friend's telling you, because you're the mate and they want to
try to get your side,
and you're like, I'm not on your side, even though I'm hearing it from the point of view of you.
Aye.
This is how wrong you are.
I've listened to you spin it, and you're still fucking wrong. Like, you're mad at, you've told this from the perspective of a victim, and I still am like, you are a piece of shit.
You know, like, I checked the behaviour when he saw it from the cold hard light of day, and you know what it is often with that, it's like you're carrying that in from a previous relationship.
Oh, that means
you're not ready to get into that relationship yet, because you've still got the toxins.
Aye. Oh, sorry. The reason
you've still got the one-upmanship.
The reason I don't like you drinking, like going out and drinking at night with your friends, is because my last partner used to go out drinking with their friends all the time, and they'd come back and be really mean to me. You're like, oh, cool. Go to fucking therapy and talk to a therapist about that. Why on earth are you bringing anything that happened in your previous relationship to this one? And I'll listen, and I'll be fucking sensitive to it, but how fucking dare you put me in the same ballpark as this person you fucking left because they were a cunt? All you motherfucker, leave that behind or get the fuck out of this relationship. You're not ready, you're immature, and you're damaged.
Aye. And then you can't, I'd drink if that's not what you like. I'm not for you.
Off you fucking
what you
pop cunt.
What are you doing instead of looking for someone that works for you? Why are you looking for someone that doesn't work for you and then twisting them with a compliance until there's somebody they don't recognise themselves but
he did this, so you must be the same thing. All right, well, this can't go any fucking further. Also, we were speaking about this the other day. What's worse, cheating or going through someone's phone?
I think they're both acts of betrayal.
100%.
They're both betrayals of trust. You're gonna go ahead and say like the cheating's worse, but they're both
millimeters.
They're both a goal. You know, one of them's a fucking like top net 18 yards, and the other one's fumbled in. But they're both a goal for the same team.
Aye.
You know, they're both betrayals. I think if I found myself looking through Natalie's phone, whether it was on a hunch, whether it was just, just to have a little look what's going on, like I don't know what's happening with her personal life, like I'm away quite a bit, has anything been going? If I found myself looking through her phone, I would feel like I was properly betrayed her. I think I'd get the exact same emotions if I climbed in, like if I climbed into another woman's bed. I'd have the same, like, the synapses would be firing, like fucking the red flags of your behaviour would be fucking showing up.
I would rather Cara found me going through her mum's underwear drawer.
Aye.
Than me going through it. And by the way, and that is better. That is objectively clear-cut better. Aye. Like, Cara could walk in on me, sniffing her mouth, just go, oh, yeah, there it is, there, oh. That is objectively, unequivocally better than her walking in on me, going through her phone.
Aye.
Oh.
One of my, let's say one of my mates, texted a friend, and then like a while later got a text message back off the phone off the friend's partner.
Ew.
Saying why wasn't I invited to this thing? It wasn't even like a real deceitful thing. It was just to like invite to them. And I was like, oh, where's my invite? And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Now my relationship's compromised with this person because I'm not just texting that person, I'm texting two people.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, and if you're one of these fucking psychos that's listened to this conversation going, how can these two people say that going through a phone is as bad as cheating? Because even if your partner is cheating, right, and you're going through the phone, you have no idea what else is in that fucking phone, right? You've no idea. You're not going into a bank to find a fucking jewel. You're breaking into someone's and just looking at fucking everything. You don't know the conversations they're having with their parents. You don't know the conversations they're having with their friends. You don't know where their mental health is at. And you don't because you don't trust them. You're a bad fucking person. There are so many other things. You're looking for one thing, but it's not like a needle in a fucking haystack. It's like lifting off the top of their fucking brain. We do everything on our phones. All of your insecurities, all of your fears, all of your worries, all your hopes and your dreams and everything, conversations. You've got the fucking gall to go into somebody's private thing.
All your hypocrisies. All the stuff you've said you didn't mean. You're just trying to have...
Banter. Out of context fucking banter.
Yeah, he has something as well. Like, if Cara cheats on you, right? If big if. When. All right, when Cara cheats on you. She's cheating on you, right? But, if she looks through your phone and she's looking at conversations with you and all your friends, she's actually... betrayed a bunch of other people as well. Like, there's other people that are being betrayed in that scenario, and they're all smaller betrayals than the one where you cheat on the person. But there's still more people caught in the crossfire. Like, man, if I like told one of my friends a secret or confided in them or something, or like I don't want that person to just go, all right, there we're going to broadcast. Anybody want to look at my phone? Do you want to dive in?
Especially, like, if you've gone through somebody's phone and somebody else, or they have fucking revealed a secret, you've now just got fucking horrific amounts of ammo and you're already fucking angry because you're betrayal and you're going to use that. How do I know that you're going to use it? Because you're the type of immature person that goes through somebody else's phone. So you are a spiteful, vindictive person and you are heightened in your emotions. And when you are like that, you do illogical, evil things. Like, honestly, if I was in a relationship, right, and I cheated on them, right, and then they found out because they went through my phone, I'm like, 1-1, and it's over. Mm-hmm. Like,
I would be like, I went wrong for each other.
I know, and they're like, are you sorry? I'm like, well, I was. Like, I definitely was.
I think I was right to cheat because you're like that.
Aye, that's
I didn't know at the time.
You are the type of person that should be cheated on if that's your behaviour. Actually, now that I think about it, I know this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I know you're going to take this into the next relationship, and I know you're going to go through that person's phone because you're not going to do anything to get rid of all the problems that you have because you feel justified in this. Because for this one example, you have been correct. You're going to carry this into every single relationship in the future, and for that, I'm sorry, because clearly I've cemented you as a cunt for the rest of your fucking life.
Aye. And this is the thing. Natalie's got the passcode for my phone, and she can go in and, like, if she needs to get something off my phone, like if she wants to use my bank card on my Apple Pay or something like that, right? Or if just get a phone number off it. She doesn't need me there to get into my phone if she needs to be my phone. But I do that because I trust that she's not going to go through it. If I thought for a second that she was going to start going through my shit, I'd password that because that's mine.
Aye. Oh, also, man, I show Cara anything on my phone. Like, she can't come up and go, can I see this conversation you had with this person? I go, yeah, all right. I've got nothing to hide. But it's not about that.
I wouldn't feel comfortable with Natalie going through our group chat with the comedians. I don't think it's fair for, you know what, she could see any of them things and say it, but I don't think it's fair for, like, any of you lot to then have, you're in a group that's closed with 10 close mates, and now all of a sudden you're in a group with 20 people because everybody's got a partner. Like, I think there's an etiquette to be had there.
Whenever we're having good banter, I do show clips.
Yeah, you'll sample. You're going to have a look at that. You want to say on my worst days when we're fucking eating each other's throats out and making cunts of ourselves.
Aye, times we've embarrassed ourselves. Having horrible arguments, doubling down. She's like, oh, is that the man I'm marrying?
Is that who you are? Is that how toxic you are with your pals?
You're like, it's the football club, it's not my fault. Aye.
I had a fucking mare this morning to change the subject. Because you know the day, right, where we're going back on tour from today, so I'm staying at your house because we've got flights in Edinburgh. We'll play a board game. We'll talk about that in a minute. And
also, just before we do get into this, how fucking class has it been to have a weekend off?
Oh, so good. I haven't been well, and it's still been class. I decided when I was on my couch with my dog, with my lass, watching the football with a beer, right, ill as fuck. Which no COVID. I've tested negative twice, but just classic man flu, sniffles, sneezing, and that.
Oh, so cancerous.
Aye, yeah.
So how you doing? Oh, Jesus Christ, I don't know, it was that bad.
It's been pretty bad, I'm gonna be honest.
That sounds fucking horrific.
But I've decided I'd rather be ill.
Have you told pregnant Cara?
I just come to the house.
Aye, put her life into perspective.
Right,
no.
I thought you meant in case she catches it.
Oh, no.
Women can't catch
that
man
baby
flu.
survived fucking everything at this point.
I was just saying that, like, the mental state I'm in, I'd rather be ill at home than the fittest I've ever been on the road right now. That's just where I was at. So I've had a lovely weekend off, apart from Newcastle getting me 4-0 and being ill.
Aye.
So what I did is, because it's Christmas and that, I bought a bunch more books to sell. You know how I did it last year?
Aye.
But last year, it was lockdown. I hadn't any other job. So this time, it was a bit more like, I've got to get it all done in this weekend. If I want everyone to have these books before Christmas, I've got to put it out there, order before the weekend. I'll get them posted before Monday. And they're still available on order. I just kind of guarantee before Christmas now. They probably would. If you're in the UK, they'll probably reach you before Christmas, because I can do a post run on the 18th. But it just meant that I wanted to get everybody who ordered this weekend posted on Monday. And Natalie's been helping us out with it and that, because she knows I'm pushed. And I went to the post office this morning at 9, and it was one of them where it's like in the back of the shop. You know, there's like the co-op, and then there's the post office at the back. And I got in, the co-op was open, but the post office opens at 10. But there's one at Harvey Avenue, so I went to Harvey Avenue, and there's fucking open at 9. I'm already late. I tried to get there before it opened, like 9 o'clock, and I get there 9:15 because I went to a different one, fucking queue wrapping on the block. And I'm like, I guarantee if I go and wait in that empty shop now, I'll get to the front of the queue quicker than if I join this queue.
Aye.
So I got back to the other one. So this time it's like 9:30, and I got in the shop, and I had my box of books and that, and like posters for the dads, for the Patreons. Thank you for the subscribers. Yeah, everybody who's £10 Patreon now, the posters are sent. So they're sent now. So if you're still waiting for it, it's on the way. So I had all there, I had all my books and all that, and I went in, and there was no queue, and it didn't open for half an hour, and I was just like, oh, I'm just going to wait here because the queue's a bit long. She was like, well, you can't wait in the shop. I'm guessing like COVID stuff. And I was like, I'll wait in the car. And she was like, and you can't post all that. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, there's no way you kind of get through all that. And you know what? I'd done the majority of them in the post box because you can print out the labels. Any UK ones I could just put as a large letter, I put them in, but some of them had ordered more than 2 books, some of them were overseas. I fucking had about like 50 items that I had to post, and she just wouldn't accept them. There was no queue, there was nobody in the shop. I was half an hour early, and she just wouldn't accept them. And I was like, so what do I do? She's like, I don't know, like, you can send 5 and then queue again. I was like 10 times. She was saying like the queue's going to be big when it starts. She's like, the queue's going to be big behind you. And I was like, well, do you want us to start like filling in the customs forms on the back of them new and that, and separate them into piles? Like, I can get some stuff done, pre-organised, so that when you open your gate, she's like, nah.
She's American.
She's Scottish, mate. And you know what as well?
She sounds American.
I've done this I didn't even mean it right. I just went, oh, this fucking country, man. I meant Britain.
Aye.
I meant Britain, just because you know how fucked up everything's been with the trains last week and that, like the whole infrastructure of this country is fucking in tatters, man. And I just went, oh, this country, man, and then realised, like, I'm in Scotland, I'm in Glasgow, I've got a fucking Geordie accent, I'm clearly not Scottish, and I didn't mean it, but I nearly followed it up with, fucking heaven forbid you get independence. You can't fucking deal with it.
Aye. It's Her Majesty's fucking post office.
But Danny, this wouldn't happen in London. I'm sorry, but that wouldn't happen in London.
I'm not.
They've got an operation going on doing there. I've never. I mean, you know what? It's nothing to do with Scotland. I was just fucking up the high door, and it's like, what are you like? If you're in Spain and that thing happens, you hate Spain.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. If it happened in Spain, it was objectively the Spanish person's fault.
Well, it was hard for us to not just go in this tiny little country. It was hard for us not to go in like that. This little fucking village of a country. It was really hard because I'm like, what do I do? Do I have to go into England to post these?
Just go to a different post office.
You saw what happened to the different post office? It's wrapped around the block.
Aye.
And that's what it was here last year as well, but I had all the time in my hands. I basically, last time when I did it, your local post office, that has a massive queue as well. I waited an hour at a time for that and done them, like, at least 8, pushed them through.
So it's a standard rule then?
Huh?
That's a standard rule the post office has?
In Scotland. I don't know. The times I've been in London, there's been like 8 or 9 like fucking things. So even if you've got loads of stuff, you're just bottlenecking it. You're not blocking it completely. Right. It's. I'm sure there's bigger post offices in Scotland, and I'm just being a whinge.
I just feel like that's one of the rules where you just go, that's not. I don't know what's to prevent.
And as well, you now hear a rule there when she was like, I can only take 5 items. She made that rule up.
Aye, that's a lie.
You know, like, what I really wanted to do, right, was send me brown wife and see if she'd make up a rule on her.
Aye. Oh, well, your brown wife with a Scottish accent.
I know. She'd probably just say, oh, come on in, we'll take them out. I'm saying that, I was probably the one being discriminated.
No, we don't discriminate against the Geordies.
I've never felt it before. I didn't think that was it. I just think she was lazy.
Aye.
I think she was just like, I didn't want to do that, so I'm not going to. Anyway, Natalie did it when I was at the dentist. She went to a different post office that was empty.
And then?
At the dentist have you heard of a place called Bridgeton in Glasgow?
No.
Fuck me, man, it was rancid.
Well, it's Glasgow.
And that turns out I've lived in quite a sheltered part of Glasgow, but because it's one of our patrons, cheers Charlie, one of our patrons got us in because I'm getting the Invisalign thing, which actually we're not using Invisalign, it's like a different brand.
I have no idea what Invisalign is.
Invisalign's like you put in these like covers on your teeth and you get like every couple of weeks you change them as the shape of your teeth change, and it just slowly moves your teeth into place over the course of like whatever 6 months to a year, depending on how bad they are.
Braces.
So they put them in, not even braces, like more like a gum shield that's non-intrusive and clear, and you can just live your life while it's in. You cannot eat, but it wouldn't affect my speech, and you wouldn't be able to tell them you're too
not
close.
Any more than it's already done.
I make it better. But I'm
the
saying,
rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane. Fucking hell, okay, you've been taking linguistic lessons. No, just these little bad boys.
So I'm saying Invisalign, but it's not. Invisalign's the name of the brand. It's like saying Kleenex when it's actually a tissue, right? You know, when you just say the brand. But he's like, oh, it's exactly the same thing. It's just Invisalign, you're paying more money for the marketing. And I was like, what? So these are like the 2-stripe ones? He's like, exactly. They're going to work.
2-stripe?
Adidas 2-stripe. I call them the 2 stripes. You know, when you've got like Adidas and then you get kids at school that wear 2 stripes and you're like, fucking 2 stripes. Or sometimes you get 4 stripes and you call them Adidas stripe.
Man, no, that's just the most working class. Nobody in my school revered Adidas working trousers.
Honestly,
no.
So you never saw it like it's like.
I saw Jakey's wearing them, but I wasn't like fucking. They look mint. Like there was a couple of cunty fucking nerds in my school who would wear them, but none of us thought they were
class.
Nah.
Oh man, because you're a pov if you didn't have the 3 stripes. If you had the 2 stripes.
Oh, is it okay? So it's just like it's the little version of.
Aye, yeah.
Wow.
So So I was like, you know what you're doing? You're starting a fucking dentist practice in this place. He was like, he's mostly working in the denture game.
He's like, New Year's and Christmas is coming up. That's always a big time of year. Lots of people getting fucking fighty.
So that basically, I was going to go in and get me teeth. So, like the consultation for my teeth, and Natalie was going to go into the post office. We ended up having, because she couldn't take the dog into the post office, and she was like, "There's no chance, even for like 20 minutes, I'm leaving the dog in the car in this place."
Aye.
Right? And I was like, "There," but I didn't feel right leaving you and the dog in the car when I'm at the dentist.
Aye, so you have to come in. You know, you were saying there you know, he's clearly built a tooth place in Glasgow because he's going to get a lot of market in there. On a scale of 1 to 10, like 1 being Peggy and 10 being fucking Hitler, let's just use that one. On a scale of 1 to 10 on evilness, where do florists land for you?
For evil?
Uh-huh.
Oh, because you think they're profiteering from...
I don't think they're profiteering off a grief. I know they're profiteering off a grief.
Oh, this is such a cynical way of looking at it.
Is it?
This is so cynical.
Is it?
Because they're providing a service that brings a bit of, not joy to the occasion, but like a bit of ceremony to an occasion.
For that much money?
They are marked up a canny bit, but still got to pay their rent. And I always think this, like, you've got to pay your overheads.
I'm not comparing it to Nazis. That's why I gave you the scale.
Oh, it's
man.
I didn't want to think of it like that.
I'm just saying. Every time a child dies, a florist is
making money,
rubbing its fingers. Here we go.
Cream. I never even considered that. They're profiteering from death.
Aye,
and love.
It's not on.
Yeah,
it's a bit fucking.
Oh, but surely they're sweet people. Surely their goal is to provide. Like, if you're gonna be,
maybe
different.
Maybe, but if your goal's to provide, then surely what you're doing is you're looking at areas going, loads of people die there. That's where I'll set up business because that's where I'll make the most money, and then I'll be able to serve more people. You're like, but you are just. You're looking for more death.
They're like, fucking business is booming right now. There's a pandemic. This is a fucking new variant, dude. Get the red panties on, love. There's a fucking Omicron.
Look, it's not. They're obviously not above 5. They're not above 5 on the scale, but they're not 2.
They're
not. It's a calculated, I'm going to profit off of. And don't get me wrong, as a comedian, I fall in on probably 5 or 6. I will make jokes about this, the Holocaust, 9/11, and everything else in the fucking world. And I profit off of that. So I rate florists below me on that scale. But.
Nah, because you're not directly profiting from death. It's not like the more death, the more profit with a comic. It's definitely the more death. You're getting me on board. I'm fighting your argument now. I went full circle. I'm just going to sit over here.
And another
thing. So this lad Charlie took. He ever had impressions of your teeth done?
Oh yeah, to get them in.
Well, like it's like silly putty, and he's like pushing them on. He's doing like pressing them on the thing, and he's chatting away to us, listens to the podcast and all that, so already knows a little bit about what tour and their lives and that. So like it was just fucking nice to have a chat with him. Oh, and he was asking about getting back from America and how to find New Orleans, because he's been to New Orleans quite a few times, and he was like, we got our flight cancelled back from there as well. Like, can relate because he heard the podcast who were getting stuck in Philly. And he was like, we got stuck on the runway. And I've been chatting to him, and then he puts the thing in, and I can't stop chatting. And he went, and I was on the seat next to us, was fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin. I fucking lost my mind. I couldn't react. I just had to lie there, underwhelmed by him sat next to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And as soon as he got the impression out, I was like, you can't just drop a bomb like that.
Man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, that is cool.
I was like, man, that's fucking sick.
That would send me
Giddy. You'd get giddy, wouldn't you?
Oh God, yeah.
And you know what? I wasn't even huge into wrestling, but like the moment in time that I concentrated on the wrestling and like showed an interest in it,
Was
and
Stone Cold Steve Austin
was that
getting
like,
up in the corner,
Yeah.
asking for 2 cans of beer, fucking smashing together, pouring them over his lovely
the glass-
pectorals.
the glass shattering.
Oh, good, great entrance music. Fucking, oh God, that is class. I do get worried about how honest we are on this podcast, because like sometimes Marlena doesn't nag, but you know when she just gives an opinion where you're like, I didn't need to hear that opinion. That like keep that in your head. It's not where she's just like, sometimes you're very honest in the podcast. I'm like, that's the podcast. Like it's a chance for me to fucking rant and vent and just be honest. And also, I'm not very good. I am very good at lying. I just don't enjoy lying. It's effort to lie. The amount of people that have been coming up to us after gigs in the past 1 week, they've just been like, "We're really sorry you had to do this show," and I'm like, no, it's not that.
It's not the show.
No, it's
not the show.
It's not the show, guys. I promise you, the show is the best bit of the day most of the time.
You're like, it was with X. That's why we didn't do a podcast through the back end of that tour.
Aye. But no, I promise. And then it's the kindest. They're like, "I'm really sorry. We wish you could just be home, but we're really glad you came." I'm like, guys, no, please don't. That makes me feel so much worse. The bit, it's never the show, right? Well, occasionally it's the show, but whenever it's the show that's notable, it's the place something fucked up, or we're just in or we just have a bad show.
If you see us in the airport, give us that.
Yes.
Like if you see us in the airport and you're excited because you got on holiday and you're not always in airports, and you see us just going, "Oh man, I'm sorry, you're still in this purgatory."
Yes, if you see us having a silent Nando's together,
come on again.
That's when you're allowed to be like, please don't ever think. My complaints about this tour are always for the other 22 hours of the day. It's the 22 hours of road. It's the 22 hours of nothingness. It's the 22 hours of just of not being with your loved ones and being away for extended period. I promise you, it's that. Like, it's like when you're ill, right? There's this amazing thing that happens when you walk on stage, that you are unable to piss yourself, you are unable to shit yourself even if you've got diarrhea, you are unable to...
I haven't sneezed on stage, and last week I was sneezing so much because there was a man flu.
Yeah.
I've never sneezed on stage.
It's just something happens. Man, there was times... Remember fucking back in the days at MCAT?
Oh, the meow meow.
Aye, that fucking really horrible, like methy plant food. Oh, it's horrible drug.
It hurt when it went up your nose. It was like a swarm of bees.
It just fucking made your eyes wide and your fucking... It
wasn't giving intensity.
It wasn't like the garden that you got on Eckings where it was... But it was just...
It would start like... killing your wrists in.
Aye. Cerebral palsy in a fucking line, that's what it was.
You just have a little bit of palsy. You're fucking one step away from having space. What are you doing, really?
It's one step away from fucking space. There was that time, and I remember it was Cheltenham. I remember exactly where we were because we'd done so much. Well, not even that. We drank a lot. It was my first time ever going into any sort of drugs like that because I was with all your Geordie mates. So even though I considered
Farnham, was it not Farnham?
No, it might have been after the Farnham
was
gig.
It not that party where a kid come up to us? It was in a council estate in Blythe.
Aye.
It was my mate. It was like firework night or something. We were setting some fireworks off, and there was some bands there. And this kid went, "Kai, what are you eating?" I went, "No." He went, "Why are you chewing then?" I went, "I'm off my fucking tits, mate."
Yeah, it must have been that time.
And then we had a 7-hour drive to Farnham.
No, it might have been Farnham.
Was it Cheltenham?
It was definitely Cheltenham. Right. I remember, because we were at Cheltenham earlier this year, and I remembered the bathrooms that I spewed and had a sad wank in.
Should have watched it.
So we got to Cheltenham, and I am spewing. Like, I remember we went to fucking Pizza Express. I ordered a lasagna. I took one bite of lasagna, and my body went that, and a whole bunch of other shit's coming out. I spewed. Got to the point where it was the closest I'd ever come to like cancelling a show. Before I'm due to.
I do remember the Cheltenham gig. I remember the room.
Yeah.
I remember the outside of it.
Yep. I was. the worst condition I've ever been in my
You
life.
lay on a wall for a bit outside, weren't you?
Yeah, real. And you were also bad, but I was just having like a horrendous fucking time with it. It was like, I might have to pull this. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, obviously, you're like, we can't pull it. Like, there's, and also
The audience were in.
yeah,
like,
and for some reason, Cheltenham was big numbers. Like, this is before everything, right? So, like, the other gigs we were doing was like 50 to 60, and then we get to Cheltenham on a Sunday, and they're like, there's 230 people in there, and we were like, 230?
What?
So I'm like, so part of me is like, I can't cancel this for some reason. I'm successful in Cheltenham, and you went on. You're like, man, they're really nice. I'm like, man, I really don't know if I have it. And I overran.
You were just something about it being on stage. It's medicinal, and
It's
like
the adrenaline. It's and in those moments you forget everything. Like it's the, you don't miss home. Even when even when I'm telling jokes about the people I missed, or whenever I'm talking about Gara on stage, I'm also enjoying that because it's people laughing at the situation we have. It removes homesickness sometimes because you're out there doing the thing you love. I promise you, I'm never ever annoyed by the time I'm spending on stage, and I'm not even annoyed or upset by meeting people afterwards. Again, one of the fun things about being famous is random people telling you they love you. That's class.
They're the two things on tour. They're meeting people after the show, and the show itself, they're the things that give you energy. Everything else takes.
Yeah.
Everything else takes.
It's the 3 hours before the gig. Those are just the...
It's the sound check where somebody that just doesn't get it, which is rare.
Aye.
Like at this level now, sound checks are usually built up, but sometimes every now and again you'll run through the queues and you'll load up the queues and you'll go to do the queues.
Yeah.
And the queue doesn't come. And you'll explain it again, and then you'll do it again. It doesn't come, and then when you know going into the show, they're gonna get it wrong. And every now and again that happens. That saps the fucking life out of me. That like
yeah. You're like it's, and also like we're not a difficult
we've got two queues. Your walk on and my walk on,
but it's because they're polar opposites. People can't. They're like, right. So for Kai's at walk on, cut the music. Daniel will talk. Play the music. For Daniel, play the music. Daniel will talk. Continue to play the music.
Yeah, so that's it. I always try and make it clear. They're similar, but not the same. The music and lights come down at the same time, leaving the red spot on the stage. And then on mine, leave the silence for Danny to talk over. As soon as he says my name, play the track. Boom. On Danny's, bring the lights down, bring the music down, red spot on the stage. Don't wait for him to talk. Just play the music. Two different cues. Right? Fuck me.
I'm going to say 20% of the time it goes wrong.
20% of the time you've got someone like, I can't pat my head and rub my tummy, man. It's fucking one or the other. One or the other.
So yeah, look, it just made me feel so bad. Look, I love the fact that we're allowed to fucking complain and bitch and moan about how tight our diamond shoes are on this podcast. But it breaks
this
my
gives
heart.
you energy. This don't apologise because we're bringing you a podcast because this.
I'm sorry if us complaining or me specifically complaining about what was going on in the tour ever made any of you feel that like I didn't want to be there. I do. I really, really do. This is still my dream job. It's just occasionally sapping at other points. So I'm sorry. We'll try and bitch.
Yeah, it's funny because like if you complain about a whole operation, like everybody in the operation will
take it on them,
take it on the chin because they're part of that operation. But you're like, oh no, like for the 80% of this operation that sucks, there's 20% that doesn't get caught in the crossfire. But like you catch people in the crossfire. It's like I said, when you fucking take down a whole nation because of one person, there's a couple of Spaniards listening to the podcast going, oh, but we're nice.
No, again, Spain, it doesn't. America, correct, right? England, that example's correct. Spain, that example's not. They're all bastards. They're all bad.
Aye.
We've never had a good time there. Gloomhaven's class.
Gloomhaven is fucking brilliant. And like, I was a bit overwhelmed by how much shit was on the table when I got in. I was like, we've got 5 hours.
It's very, very. It's for those that don't know Gloomhaven. It's like one of the biggest board games in the world in the sense that I think it takes 200 hours minimum to complete. Like there's 100 to 100.
I love that you put your character back in the box, all your cards, your deck, and all
it's
that.
It's D&D without
like,
the dungeon master. So it's very difficult, but man, the rule book is 50 full pages long, and it's hard to.
And there's not if the thing about D&D that puts you off is like the improv and the acting and the performative side of it, like
The role playing.
Dressing up as the character and the role playing, if that puts you off, and you're more into like if you're just playing on the computer, like the top down, and this is your board and you move people around it and you use your like.
Well, here's the annoying thing, right? If Gloomhaven, they've just come out with the game version of it, the PC game.
Oh, so lush!
And it's just way
faster. Like Skyrim type. No, not even because it'll be turn based. Yeah, it'll be more like XCOM 2.
Yeah, so it's turn based, top down, and you can play with your friends. So even when I was really struggling to learn the rules, I was like, we could all just like get this, and I was like, no, like I really want this.
Oh, you mean like doing like the Gloomhaven exactly as it is? Like
on the computer, they've got that.
Oh, like it's like when you play chess on the computer.
Yes,
it's still chess.
Aye,
they're not doing like here's the like amped up version of it.
But they do the monster movements for you. They do the things you just pick your cards, and I can tell it's easier and funner, but. What I really want is you, me, Colin and Gareth around the table doing it all the time.
It's class, you know. I nearly called them chips again, having chips. Doritos, mate. I've been in America 6 weeks, and just because you get it wrong a couple of times, right?
Aye.
You just want fish and chips a couple of times, and you end up with crisps. Where you're like, right, I'm gonna speak their language a little bit while I'm here, just to be understood. I said. Oh, I've got that hummus from the writer. Like, Cara, you got any chips? And I said chips in a room full of people.
Aye. Aye. Scottish people and Irish. We were like, fucking, what did you say?
And I was like, this is worse than calling the teacher mum.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah, I called her mum. I called the maintenance technician in Concordia dad once.
Just in case.
It just came out. I was like, mate, fucking hell. You're a good bloke.
I remember calling, Miss Else. I called her mum. Thankfully, it was only her that heard, so it wasn't. But still enough that I could draw you the room that I did.
Oh, no way.
It's one of those seared into my fucking memory. I could tell you where everyone was sat. I could tell you what direction we were facing. I remember the weather. It's just my fucking 7-year-old brain just went
snap.
Trauma for the rest of you.
That button that you accidentally press on the PlayStation that nobody uses for realsies.
Oh, why is that a main button?
Just take £10 off the control bar. I never can use it. That's where Fantasia has a superpower. Any of their moments I've had, they're just behind a wall of darkness where they belong.
No, that's properly suited to my memory.
Class. Yeah, I went the opposite, man. I got pally with a teacher and called her. She was called Mrs. Creswell, and I called her Crezzy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you called her by like her first real name, and I'm like, that's as bad as like dead naming someone. You can't use a teacher's. You can't use a teacher's first name.
You can on a Sunday, but when are you ever with them on a Sunday?
No, fucking Mr. Latham.
Oh yeah, did you never call him Stu?
I didn't even know that was his name.
He was never my teacher. I just shook his hand and got his name. Mrs. Noble, Ross Noble's ma, comes to me shows now and again. I'd never call her Anne.
No, so like I've got some. Wade Academy had many really brilliant teachers who were very supportive of my career early on, and they came to shows. I remember Miss McPherson, my science teacher, came, and I'm pretty sure the old director came and everything. And every time, even to this day, like Stuart, I message him regularly. We message at least once a month. We talk about Critical Role. We talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We talk about Marvel stuff. Before shows, I'll go for a pint with him. We'll have a laugh together. He's really good company, right? He's a good fucking laugh. Consistently, he's like, please stop calling me sir. And I'm like, I can't do that, sir.
I know. They couldn't get it to stick in my school, calling the teacher sir.
No?
They tried.
Because they're all women. Fair enough.
Only ones will listen to you. Well, batter the blokes. Women are on base. I remember Mr. Rothbury trying to get with a response to sir when we were answering the register, and all the kids were like, nah, till you've been knighted. Until you've slayed a fucking dragon, not happening. No. It was just like a flat out refusal.
What did you call
none
them?
of the kids, Mr. Rothbury.
Or teacher?
Mr. Rothbury.
Aye.
Just for Carl of his full name. I'd rather chuck in 4 more syllables than show you any respect.
He's such a fucking scumbag area.
I can't say.
Someone kind enough to like put all their time and effort in to like teaching the next generation, people who do deserve respect. Teachers, you know what? I'm going to take the low salary. I'm going to take the zero fucking budget. I'm going to go out and I'm going to try and educate these
We
ungrateful.
didn't know that. We thought they were authoritarians. We thought they were the 5-0. Fucking, we thought teachers were pigs, man.
Yeah, that's only because the actual pigs wouldn't bother you because you weren't doing anything.
Because they're scared.
You're not being persecuted enough. You're like, well, there's got to be bastards somewhere. I reckon it's that cunt spending his weekends trying to improve my intellect. Well, he marks grades.
One of the funniest memories from school is getting bollocked off a teacher. The whole school, the whole class, he was bollocking the whole class, going fucking mad. And he's desk like this, he's walking back and forward behind the desk while he's fucking laying the law, dude. He's actually got one. He's got the room. Everyone's quiet. Like, I've never seen Mr. like this. Like, he's got couldn't slip on a pencil. Mate, I saw his feet before he disappeared. Lost it all.
There's only one way to come back from that, right? And it's to stay down under the table for like a minute, right? Let the laughter die down, right? And then pretend to walk up some stairs back up and be like, right.
But have something under your arms. Just quickly get in one of the drawers, get some stuff food, get you. Right, you've all got lines. Have you ever been bollocked with one of your mates where there's like both of you getting bollocked at once? You get like took to the class and the two of you are getting bollocked and you just catch your mate's eye and you fucking go. Like you go, like there's no way you're keeping your face.
No, I didn't.
You got no control over your face. You're like,
oh my goody two shoes, man! The only time I ever got bollocked, and fucking this was to Mr. Latham, man. I was in like first or second year, and being with friends, we're just being dicks, right? We're just running, but we're just being dicks to each other, right? And I run. He's about to beat me up because I've hit in the balls or something, and I sprint round a fucking corner right into Mr. Latham. Now, you've met Stuart. He's what, 6?
big guy, like
6'3", 6.
Aye.
Something like that.
He's got a couple of inches on me.
I was a small kid. This was pre-puberty Sloss, and man, I'd love to tell you I ran face first into his gut, and and I'm pretty sure that's the way he'd like to remember it as well. Because you know when you're running, right? You're doing I'm sprinting, my head's down. I run around this corner, fucking right, my belt print right in the middle of my forehead like a shite Harry Potter.
WWF. He really supported the animals.
Yeah, but it was alligator skin. Next messages. Oh man, he was like, and Mr. Latham was one that, man, you didn't piss him off, man. He was like the scary one. He was the one, whenever teachers lost the room, they were like, I'll go get Mr. Latham. You go, all right, everyone shut the fuck up, all right, fair enough. Class. Which is so weird now, because now that he's a human, well, to be fair, he was now, once you get into like, because after higher
years you start.
Once there's the year when you choose to stay on at school, you kind of level up a little bit, and the teachers go, all right, yous are nice, and we're going to start treating you a bit more like, we don't have to be as authoritative. It's not about, carrot and stick sort of thing. We still will if we have to, but I'm going to teach you with a bit more, a modicum more of respect. So he was one of those ones, and obviously now that we're friends and stuff, but man, he was he scared the fucking shit out of me as a kid.
I don't.
There was one teacher.
I didn't mind a teacher that like really had that where like.
No, the fear's important. We had one teacher, and I'll not name this one.
Sorry, go on.
There was one teacher, and I might have told this on this podcast before, and I apologise, but that's what this podcast is. Quake 3, I managed to fit on my dad got it onto a pen drive, right? Because he's a great man. In our techie class, I installed it on all of the computers. So our techie teacher, He tried to be friendly. He tried to be one of the cool teachers. And man, that's not how you become a cool teacher.
Wore aftershave. I never trusted those guys. Like, the teacher's wearing aftershave. What the fuck's he trying to pull? Does he smell good? Getting compliments off the lasses and that. Fuck off. Get out of here.
At the start, he was like, you're allowed to play, once you've done your work, you can all play on the computers together. And then one day, some kid just started playing Quake, and we're like, well, he's not Wade. So we all started playing it. And he comes back into the class, and he's not that bothered because we've all finished work. But as the weeks go on, it just becomes Quake class, and we just go in and we play Quake all the time. And at one point, he's behind the desk. You can tell he knows he's lost it all. He's like, if you don't stop playing Quake, I'll go get the headmistress. And we were like, man, if you do that, you're fired. There's no way we're the ones that, like, we're going to get in trouble. Absolutely. But nowhere near as much trouble. She's going to walk in and be like, how the fucking shit did it ever get to this? Like, you're all obviously detention, but you are done.
You're out here, mate. What else are they going to get on the computers? I did. Probably, the one teacher that struck fear into people was Mrs. Noble, who I mentioned before, because she was the head of year. Right? She's a short woman, but like you didn't fuck with her. Like she was straight with you. And I was never mean to her. I was never like bad with her, because with her being the head of year, she's who you got to put on detention with. And I always wanted to be out of detention. So I'm not going to be naughty in detention. I was always sound. So like, even though she was the kind of like fear figure in the school, she was the person who I was the kindest to out of all the teachers, which is why we get along still after I left, because I never give her any shit.
Did you call her Miss?
Mrs. Noble.
Mrs. Noble.
Hold on, what do you say do you have like a sir equivalent? Do you call the teachers madam? Miss. Even Mrs. Even the married ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
just miss. Just all miss. What if they were married? If you ever full named them?
Do you have a fancier teacher?
Oh yeah.
Those are
Miss Kelly, and she was my. Everyone fancied her because Because to be fair, she was hot, but she was like the young.
That must be horrible being a hot teacher and like in a school that's got like young, like bordering pubescent children. Like. You're starting to become sentient to women. Mm-hmm. Like that would be horrible. Like fuck, man, that's another shitty thing that women have to go through.
I don't have to, man. But hey, fucking Mister Jascovi, I got by the girls.
It's got boys are gross though.
Aye. I remember Miss Kelly. She was nice. She was a biology teacher, but I didn't take biology. But she did her. We just had her for registration. So you go in at like 10 to 9. And she goes through the names, and then at 9 you fuck off to your actual classes and stuff. So she was just sound. It was just like she was dead nice. I always crack my knuckles in my neck, and I'd do that. Right? It was the only time I've ever had it with a teacher. She was like, "You'll give yourself arthritis if you do that," and I was like, "No, you won't." She's like, "You will?" And I'm like, "No, you won't." There's no. Like, what that is that's not bones cracking together. That's just air popping through the joints. That's what that noise is. It's got nothing to do with arthritis. And I
think I bought that fearmonger, and I always do feel like that's going to cause lasting damage if you keep doing it.
Nah.
I always thought like it was, even if you didn't get arthritis, it would be like abrasive, like at some point. Like,
I mean, maybe that's true, but man, I was like, man, I'll be honest with you, I could be wrong. She was a biology teacher, but I remember the time I was like, you're a biology teacher, you should know that this is the case. But yeah, no, she was.
Is it like one of them things like if you swallow chewing gum, it'll stick to your ribs?
My gran when I used to bite my nails, she was like, if you bite your nails, they don't, but they'll just stay in your stomach, and then you just have a big pile of nails. And I was like, oh, I'll spit them out then.
So you didn't stop you biting your nails?
No, not at all.
So you didn't get into trouble much at school? Because
I did. I got like the first ever detention in East Weems Primary School. I've done that on the.
Such a lame school.
Aye. Because I wasn't even at school when it fucking happened, but my group of friends bullied some other kid, and because I was the fucking ringleader, the most popular kid in the group, when I came back to school, they're like, "You've got detention." I'm like, "What? I wasn't even here." I was a bully though. I will admit that. Well, I wasn't like a.
So you would have done it, but you weren't there. You were like, "You got us," but
it wasn't. But
I wasn't at that particular crime, but I've committed crimes. Like one of mine I got done for was like, when you do pendulums in physics. Do You ever do that where you get like a bit of string and you measure the weight and the length of the string and how far it swings and collect data on it and all that, right? I fucking just got one of them right now. Look up at the ceiling, bush, put it up the ceiling, just disappears into the polystyrene. You know, the low-hanging, what do you call it, suspended ceiling. And I like, get me fucking mate Terry's attention. I'm like, you can see this, mate? Boom. And he has it going, boom, like that. Next thing you know, it's fucking gone through the class and everyone's popping to the ceiling. The physics teacher comes back in and went, like, what's everyone doing? Where's all the house? You're like, different look up, different look up. And he fucking spots the ceiling and there's just fucking 30 plus holes in the ceiling. Fucking more than one per kid.
We had
it was one of them where like all the fingers pointed back at me, where they're just like, come on there.
In primary school, it was we must have been like 6 or 7 at this point, like kids, like just like barely human beings. We always used to piss together, like, all right, boys, have to go to the toilet, and they didn't. We just let you go in there because it's going to be a clusterfuck. And it's boys, we just piss against the wall. They've got that there. There was always one kid who had to pull their trousers all the way down, and that was the kid that got bullied. Aye. And fair enough.
Fuck, man, we had shit.
But the thing we used to do, and the thing that used to fuck the teachers off, and the reason we had to be escorted into the bathrooms was because one day one kid came at the bathroom, right, and just like with a bit of tissue paper, got it wet, and just fucking yeeted it.
And it sticks.
And we were like, oh my God, how's this not taught in school? How have I learned this from a fucking pupil?
Yeah, that's so funny that like every school catches on to that.
Aye.
Yeah, everybody discovers that of their own bat.
Man, I enjoyed it so much, right? And we were doing it at school, and obviously teacher comes in, we all get fucking bollocks because that's like it's raining because it's dripping down. I go home in my house, in my downstairs bathroom.
You start doing it.
My mum goes, man, it's
shit
me
on
and
your
Josie.
doorstep.
It's me and Josie. My mum comes in and she's like,
she's not going to blame Josie.
I know this now, but I don't know.
Well, you're trying to point Josie to say
no,
that.
but it's like, man, don't fart in the elevator with one person. Like, the reason you can do that at school, right, is you're going to get yelled at, but you're going to get yelled at as a group. That's why you do it at school. I remember while being rightfully yelled at by my mum.
You go downstairs, your dad's getting bollocked.
I know it's you, Martin. It's fun. It's a satisfying noise, like come on.
That was the thing. Also, getting taking the ink out your pen and chewing up paper and just, do that, make a little blowgun and just like.
Man, we used to do the horrific one, right? If you got a bit of paper, right, and you folded it like 4 or 5 times just so it was long and thin, right, and then you folded this 3 times over. And you put that in an elastic band. Man, that could, if you hit somebody in the eye, not necessarily take their eye out, but ruin the eye.
They gotta have a black eye. They gotta.
You can also do it with if you just undo most of a paperclip except for one curl. Fucking deadly.
Fuck, and you ever like paint your hand fully with PVA glue and peel it off?
Yes,
man, isn't it fucking class? How like this is to attack like pre-internet here. This is like viral grapevine shit.
Man,
like,
I don't think it's grapevine. I just think like that's when you're at your like most monkey discovery stage.
Do you ever keep rubbing your hands together until your skin starts like rolling off, and it's always a bit manky as well because you're a kid and you've been fucking playing football outside and you just got loads of just rolled up bits of dry skin on your hands. You're trying it now. Straight in. I thought it was longer than that. Yeah, my hands are fucking. Look at that, peachy clean. You can wash your hands. You can sing happy birthday twice.
I think it's all a myth.
That thing where where you that we was thinking something before. When you blow and you get people on the back or whatever, right? I was queuing for a nightclub once and I sneezed and I saw the lad in front of us in the queue, just the phlegm all down his back where I'd sneezed on him, right? And I was like, oh no, you fucking might start on it. I don't want to get barred from the nightclub before I'm in and all that. And I just thought, I laughed about it with my mates, right? I fucking saw him as we left and he still had greaser all down his back. No. They couldn't have had a full night out with Grem. Had a full night out with Grem doing his back.
Grem?
Greaser? Hockle?
Oh, no Hockle.
Not call it Grem?
No, a Loogie.
Loogie, that's American, isn't it?
Hoikel
Loogie.
Oh,
that's so sad that you haven't had the word Grem in your life, like Gremmed up.
I like it, it's a good word, Grem.
I don't know.
G-soft M.
I don't know what I'd do with it, the word Grem.
Oh, do you want some dinner?
Aye, let's go and eat.
My shit is available to fucking buy. You can finally buy Cream merch, and I know that's what you've been waiting for. You've been desperate for it. You've been like, oh, when's the Cream merch coming? It's out now.
Link in the description.
Is it?
I haven't posted it yet, but I will.
Right, there you go. It's there. You can. I mean, I've carefully selected. What have I selected?
You've got like some t-shirts and woolly hats, and you've got like a hoodie where it's got like different colour arms to the body of the hoodie. Like you went for some like really like baseball jock kind of guy.
And you, because Kara's asked for one for her Christmas, but you said you'd buy one.
I'll sort that out.
Right, okay,
I'll get that. So you're probably good if you get them now. You're probably good for Christmas. Spreadshirts seem to be pretty decent.
Now that we've sorted things out with them, so if you want to buy any of the merch, please do. If you want to subscribe to this piece of shit, you can do. You can become a patron. Means you get this Monday. You get the episode that you're currently seeing on Monday, which obviously our patrons are, and we thank them all the time. You get thanked by us constantly. You get some signed shit from us.
You get every Thursday. You get an episode as well, which you don't normally get.
Aye, and it used to be only half an hour long, and we just ramble so much that it's now just you get 2 podcasts.
For every time we fall short with day one, that gan's over. The level out at about an hour.
Aye. No, I actually think we do it more towards the other end.
Aye.
Or at least when we've been drinking, we do.
Yeah, and so you get your Monday episode, this one, which comes out Wednesday publicly, in the Thursday episode, and you can get like different tiers. You know what? We still need to do a draw. We need to do a draw for November and December for everybody that's a £5 patron gets entered in the draw. Anybody that's a £10 patron gets entered in twice. Last week was Lachlan. Last month that we did one was Lachlan won a signed copy of your book and my book.
Mm-hmm. We can do that again because I got a bunch of free copies.
So we'll draw a number of you because we didn't do one in November because we just weren't in the country to be sending shit to people. But we'll do 2 draws on the Thursday episode because it's patrons only, so you might as well watch it on there. So we'll get you maybe some merch, some signed books, we'll fucking haul some goodies in, and any £10 patron gets added on the credits on all of the YouTube videos because I mean that's where the money's going to produce these videos. Thank you, Brett, for accepting the job of putting us on the screen, and also you get 2 entries into the draw. And each of the tiers will have different perks for when we do live shows, whether it's a free stream or free tickets or whatever.
And thanks for watching and thanks for your support. Go fuck yourselves.
Bye.